Hello, wonderful people of the internet. Welcome back to my channel. My name is David from Daveden Web Dev, and on this channel, I'm always talking about accessibility, dynamic data, exploring different page builders, and now I'm exploring AI as well. So before we get started, let me know in the comments, can you see me clearly? Can you hear me clearly? I hope I'm not just speaking to myself, and I hope everything is working. So I'm just going to give it a bit of time to make sure everything is working. Let me pull up my phone and I'll just text it out. If it's working, then we can get started. So yeah, where's my channel? Yeah, it looks like we're live. And yeah, so let me know in the comments, what's your preferred stack in terms of page builders and like in terms of the custom fields plugin. I put the poll up because I know most people on my channel, they are mostly into things like jet engine. Some are a bit of ACPT users. So let me know which one do you work with mostly. Okay. All right. So I have confirmation. Everything is working well. So thank you for confirming and thank you for joining the stream, Michael. Yeah. So which custom fields plugin do you use? Okay, I see jet engine and a few other ones. So for this whole stream, we'll be working with primarily, I will use bricks and so it'd be bricks and Metabox, but I also have jet engine and Elementor also set up. So we'll be testing out both of them, hopefully kind of simultaneously, and see how far we get with both of them. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so yeah, let's get to it. So while we wait for more people to join in, we just take a look at the change log. Let me see if I can pull up the change log for the Novamira, because that's what we're working with today. Novamira. If you haven't heard of Novamira, it is an MCP that allows you to connect your AI agents into your WordPress website. So you can now use your AI agents well within WordPress. You don't have to go through so many configuration steps. It's very simple. You install Novamira on your site, then you activate the abilities plugin, the abilities AI abilities will see it out, and they've made everything even simpler. As long as you have your AI agent running, you should be good to go. So let's take a look. Okay, so let me just look for the changelog of Novamira, the free version first, and then the pro version. Okay, let's see, view on GitHub. And yeah, let's see. Where do we see the changelog? It should be under, okay, releases. Let me switch my screen. So yeah, this is the recent changelog. Let me zoom in a little bit. So they released version 1.2, I believe it was a few days ago. 2 days ago, yeah, it was released. And now they've basically added other features like the AI agents can upload plugins, they can upload themes, media, and very large files easily. There is a paste to your AI agent block on the configurations page. We'll check this out. Makes configuring your AI easier. You don't have to start thinking too much about it. You just do everything easily. Hey Eddie, thank you for joining in. Then you can also reuse saved application passwords. You don't have to always create a new application password. You can just reuse the one that you already have. And some other ones have been added. So let's go ahead and even see how it is. And they've also added AI agents working with data modeling plugins like ACF, Jet Engine, Pods, ACPT, Metabox, Toolset, and CPT UI, and all of them are now told to use the plugin's own UI. Because I remember a long time ago, or about a week ago or so, we had that complaint on the live streams that anytime you try to get AI to work with one of those custom fields plugins, it will first try to use its own PHP, which is understandable because that's the whole point of using AI. is the fact that you don't want to be relying on third-party plugins. So I kind of understand why it was doing that, because the idea is that you want to be able to build everything natively without relying on third-party plugins, because if the plugins are already there, the AI technically doesn't need to do anything because you already have the plugin to do that thing. So that was why the AI agent was like making its own, registering its own custom fields, its own custom post types and everything using PHP. But users prefer to still stick with their custom fields plugin because those are tried and tested plugins that extend what WordPress can do natively. So yeah, so they've now added a bit more. They've tweaked the AI agents to now understand that they should use the ACF or Jet Engine or Metabox first before any other PHP code. Okay, so let's see some of these features in action. So like I said, I already have 2 different WordPress installations active and ready to go. The first one is a Bricks site, and the second one is an Elementor site. On the Bricks site, we go to plugins. For today's stream, we're using a few plugins. So the main ones we're using are Happy Files Pro to manage our media library. We have Metabox, that is for the Bricks side of things. I'm using Metabox as the custom fields plugin. We have the Novamira version 1.2.0 and Novamira Pro version 1.1.1. Then, yeah, those are the main plugins. For the Elementor site, if I go to plugins, we are using very similar. So it's Elementor and Elementor Pro version 4.0.8. I will basically be testing out the beta release soon. That's the new Elementor beta release. But for now, we're using the stable version, which is 4.0.8 and 4.0.4 for the Pro version. We're also using Happy Files here as well. And in this one, we're using Jet Engine. And we also have the Novamira 1.2.0 and the Pro version 1.1.1. Someone mentioned, a friend of mine mentioned recently that it's a bit confusing with the different numbering, where one of the Novamira is in 1.2, so it's basically higher than the Pro. So it may sound a bit off when you tell people I'm using Novamira Pro 1.1, but they will think, oh, but Novamira is already on 1.2, so that means you're actually backward or something. But yeah, I think like how Elementor does, they try to make sure that the major release and the minor release all work together. So you see 4.0, 4.0, then it's only the bug fix release that changes the number. They are slightly different, just so that it is easy for you to tell users, okay, I'm on version 4.1, I'm on version 4.2, that kind of thing. So maybe the Novamira team can kind of tweak it a bit quickly so that both number versions can be similar. Okay, so yeah, moving on from that, I also have my AI agent, which is Claude Code, installed on VS Code. So we have VS Code running, and I'm using the Claude Code extension for VS Code. You can just go under extensions, if I can actually remember how extensions look like. Yeah, extensions, and just search for Claude Code, and it will pull up the extension, and then you can install that extension from Anthropic. It is an official extension from Anthropic, and you use that. Yeah, so yeah, exactly what Eddie is mentioning, that it looks like I'm going a step back instead of a step forward when you buy the Pro version, because the numbering is slightly different. But yeah, so now one of the new features that have been added to the Novamira is that if you go under Novamira and configuration, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, first you now see a newish UI. It looks a bit nicer. They have in the step number, step 1, step 2, and so on. First you do the step 1, which is you turn on your Abilities API. Then once you've activated the Abilities API, and you save your settings, it will now open up the step 2, so that you don't just jump the gun. You go from step 1 first, you activate your abilities API, then step 2, you create your application password, and the step 3, okay, it's not there at the moment, but the step 3, let's say you create a new password. Let's go ahead and create a new one. Generate another application password. Let's see, cursor. Once you do that, you now have this third step that comes up that says connect your AI agent, and all it just basically tells you is it gives you this code that you can just copy. You copy the prompt, and it tells you don't share with anyone. So instead of having to remember, okay, do I have to write the code in X way or in Y way? All you just do is, as long as your AI agent is running, you just come here, copy the prompt, go to your AI agent, and you paste that prompt there. As long as the AI agent is already running, paste the prompt. It will tell the AI agent exactly what you need to do to activate the agent. Sometimes I just like to add that in this specific project, just so that once it is activating the MCP, you should activate it on the project level, because I think I like to do everything in the current project. That's just for me, because I'm using VS Code with Claude Code. So I like to create my own folder where everything will be living in, and then the Novamira and whatever MCP I'm using should be localized to that folder, not on the general user. Okay, but that's it. Once you just do that and you press enter, it will automatically, if it is in VS Code, it will automatically generate this .mcp.json for you and add it there, because the AI understands the instructions. But yeah, that's it. Let me get rid of that. So that's how I was able to activate my MCP, and it automatically puts the node, whatever that is needed. If you're on a local site, it will basically add a node TLS to ignore the checking of SSL if you're on a local test site. But if you are on something like a proper staging site on your live site, this last line will not be added, because this is only for the local site. Okay. Yeah, they can probably come. Yeah, they can come and check my local site if they have access to it. I'm sure somebody would already be trying to get access to my computer if possible. Hi Max, thank you for joining in. But yeah, those are the things that you need. And for today's stream, basically I thought, rather than always constantly building a site out from scratch, always saying AI build this site for me, what about if we just ask the AI to do a bunch of tasks? So I asked Claude Online to generate some tasks for me that I can use for the AI agents to see if it will work with everything. So the tasks are just simple. First one is, can it detect the unused themes that I have on my site and delete it? Because I know most times when you first start up the site, you have all this 2023, 2024, 2025 theme all installed on your site, even though you're not using them. So this way, it can just automatically delete it for you without you having to go to delete it yourself manually. Then I also created, under the assets folder, I just created some CSS and some variables, and I'm going to ask it to import it into the relevant page builder, so Bricks or Elementor, depending on where I am. So the first one is on Bricks, then we'll try it on Elementor as well. Then the next task is that we want to build the conference data model. So we want to be able to build some like custom fields. So this one is going to be using MetaBox, because MetaBox is installed on this side. The other one is Jet Engine. So I'll say use Jet Engine to build my, just basically like the site is going to be called Universal Access Conference. It's just like an accessibility conference, something like the WP Accessibility Day conference. We're trying to build out our structure to work with the conference. It's just a fictitious conference. Then I would say you should also go ahead and generate sample data. And I think I added it somewhere here that it should also categorize the folders into using happy files. So we'll see if we can connect to happy files and categorize our folders. And finally, we'll now do a quick build of a loop grid. So a speaker grid with contextual alt text. So that's it. So those are the 5 tasks we'll do on both sides. And then if there's time, we'll try out some other things. So yeah, if you have any other like idea of a task that I should try out, you can leave it in the comments and I'll try to also include that task. So yeah. So for the first task now, we'll now start with the bricks side of things. Hopefully I have enough tokens and everything will not just finish on time, but I believe that the tokens I have or the subscription I have should be enough to do everything we want to do today. But if it ends, then we'll have to do some improvisation. But yeah, let's begin. Okay. So let's try with the first task, which is, let's even first see if the AI agent has access to the site. So let me open Claude Code and I'll say, can you list the plugins on my site? I should be using Voice Whisper because now I also have this open whisper that I've connected so that I can be using my voice instead of having to type, because sometimes I make mistakes in my typing. But well, we'll see if I will switch to that or not. Just give me 1 minute. I need to turn off my alarm system. Okay, so it's asking me, okay, do you want to allow, why is it asking me for Python? Let's see. I think I'm already making a mistake here. Let's start from the beginning. Why is he asking me for Python? No, doesn't need to ask for any script yet. So let's close it and start again. First of all, let me make sure that the MCP is there. MCP. Okay, Novamira is installed. It has access to the tools, so that works. Okay, so let's exit that and just Ctrl Z, whatever it did here. What did it do? Nothing. It didn't do anything. Why is it having? Let's close that. And yeah, go back to Claude Code and now say list the WordPress plugins I have installed on my site. Let me just say using the Novamira just to be safe, because I don't know why it's trying to look at the local folder. It should be looking at the external site. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh yeah. It was doing the right thing. And now I know what it was trying to do. It was basically trying to write to the folder first before it starts reading anything. Okay, so it's basically just going to go through Novamira to understand what Novamira does, and it now basically uses the Novamira ability to return all the plugins I have installed. So you can see it shows the right plugins. Admin and Site Enhancements Pro, BrickSync is inactive. We have Dynamic U, Happy Files Pro, MetaBox, and all of the rest plugins. So there are 11 plugins, 10 are active. BrickSync is the only one that is inactive. Yeah. Oh, okay. I think I did something with Cloud, but yeah, we can ignore that. All right, so that's the first step done, that it can detect all of our plugins. So now let's try out with the first task, which is trying to delete the unused themes. So I'm just going to copy the prompt which says delete all the inactive themes on my WordPress site, leaving only the active bricks theme, or maybe I just, okay, leaving only the active theme or something like that. Or let's just do everything. And we'll paste that in. Should I try with only the active theme and see if it can detect both the child theme and the parent theme? Maybe we should try that to see how smart AI is. So only the active theme. Yeah, let's see. Only the currently active theme, yes. Let's see if that works. Hopefully it doesn't delete bricks as well. Okay, so the active theme is bricks child. I need to keep bricks as well. So it knew that it doesn't only need the child theme, it also needs the parent theme. And it's telling us all of the details. So all 4 themes deleted. Now it's verifying the remaining themes, that the remaining themes are the bricks child theme and the bricks theme. So it automatically knew that I have a child theme installed and the child theme has to depend on the parent theme. So it didn't delete it. So task 1 was done without any problems. So yeah, this shows how AI is getting better and better with knowing our sites. It knows how our websites operate. Then let's look at the second one, which is, okay, now import all of my classes and my variables. So let's say read my assets, variables, and the classes, and then from the project root, which are on the project root, okay, and then add those custom properties to bricks as the global variables and create global classes in bricks with matching names and properties, okay. Then I'll also add one extra task to it for the bricks, which is, let's see, using the CSS properties from the .wrapper class, populate the container theme style as well. Okay, let's see if that works. This is bricks, right? Yes, it's bricks. So let's go. So that's task 2. Please let me know in the comments if you have any other extra tasks you want us to try out. Then we can try those out as well, so that we know that everything is working. Okay, so it's reading all of the files. Yes, you can continue. So basically what is it doing? It's now using the executability. It has gotten the both files that I've gotten. It has gotten the correct skill, and now it's using the 2 skills that were created by the Novamira team, which are the create global class and then the create global variables. So it's doing everything together. So let's see if it comes up with the right classes and the variables. I should have showed you all the current setup. So let's go to bricks. So that's under pages and the home page. I should have probably checked out the current state before we start. So the current state is that we have only the bricks colors and the bricks variables and the bricks classes. Nothing is added. There's nothing added on the site currently. So now let's see, after we run all of these prompts, how well it will do. Okay, so let's go back to VS Code and see what it's doing. Sorry, I'm always zooming my screen so that I can see as well. Yeah, that's why I'm always zooming in the screen. And that's one of the reasons why I like a MacBook now compared to my previous Windows computers, because with the Windows, I had to use magnifier and some other things, which it's not that fluid when zooming in and out. But with Mac, all you just do is hold your command, what's it called? Is it the command or the control key? Yeah, and then scroll up or scroll down, and you get your smooth zoom. And that's it. So that's just one thing about accessibility. I think in terms of accessibility, like on the whole, Apple tend to do a lot more work in terms of accessibility than Windows. But then there are so many plugins and system things you can add to Windows to also make it very accessible. Because, like, just a side note, in terms of like screen readers, I prefer the NVDA. In terms of almost every other thing, I prefer a Mac. But NVDA is only for Windows, so it's like it's always confusing. That each one always has something like better than the other, but there's no perfect system basically. But yeah, let's switch back to the screen and see how far it's going currently. Where's my screen? Okay, so okay, still thinking. It's computing, so, but it has gotten all the abilities it needs. It got the get ability. It got the right ability that it needs: the create global class ability, the create variable ability, and what else? Yeah, those are the two abilities that it requires, and it's even checking out. It's now okay. This is execute the ability that is taking the data from my variables and my categories, and it's going to be populating those data now into the right place. So let's see how it goes. Sometimes it takes a while because it's AI. AI has to first go through your site, which is one thing that I think Max mentioned in one other stream, that because it is a database driven system compared to a file based driven system that we have with other kind of raw HTML editors, it takes longer for AI to do the same tasks in WordPress than it would do in something like Astro or other ones, because those ones are file-based systems, so AI can quickly read the files and edit your files. But with database-driven systems, AI has to first of all get access to your database, understand the way the data is written in the database, and then add the content that it needs to add and all of that. That takes time. That takes a lot of time. But yeah, see, it's going through all of the processes, and it's adding all of the variables one after the other, because the variable, giving it an ID, a name, and the properties that are required for that variable. And yeah, this is looking good so far. And while that is going on, I can see that, okay, from the poll that I've put so far, most people are ACF users, and then there are followed by Jet Engine users. I think not many people are thinking of Metabox yet, and others like ACPT, because I couldn't fit in all of the different custom fields plugin. So I think it looks like the core of users are ACF users. Then we also have Jet Engine users as well, which are also very predominant. Okay, so while it's going, let's see if anything has been shown in the editor. Let's refresh and go ahead and check. Is anything added yet? No, I think it has to finish everything before it adds them into the site. Okay, so this is one beautiful thing. One thing about AI though that we have to get used to. So while this one is running for breaks, we'll now switch over to Elementor and start a task for Elementor as well, and see how we can be switching between the two tasks. As long as you have two sessions running, I think they shouldn't interfere with each other because everything is separate, I hope. But yeah, I have another VS Code open. This is a different VS Code open, and it is for Elementor. And let's go ahead and check out its similar tasks. I'm just doing the same tasks. So let's see, MCP. The MCP server is connected. Yep. So I'll just do the same thing, run through the same task, and see if it's able to detect that the hello theme is the active theme and it needs the hello child theme, which I have there. So I'll say delete all of the themes, copy, and I'll go ahead and paste it. This one, the AI is more about chatting than actually building, which some people say, oh, they have some problem with it because then they're doing more chatting than actually doing any work, because you're literally just going to be chatting with like you're talking to your assistant, and the assistant is doing all the work for you, which most admin or most managerial people tend to do. So it's not a bad thing. Yeah. Okay, so delete the inactive themes from the leaving only the active Hello Elementor theme. Let's go and ask that to do that. And while it's doing that, we'll switch back. And yeah, it's done. Everything is done now. So it has done all the 3 tasks I told you to do. So add it has created some categories for my colors. So brand colors, surface and text. Let's see if that actually happened. And they said the last thing it did was, okay, centered content, okay, the wrapper class and everything. That added all of those classes. Let's see if that worked. I'll go to my brick site, refresh, and go over to the variables manager and see, okay, so, okay, it added everything under variables. So these are the variables I've added now. It has added the brand colors, it added the surface and text, it added everything in, okay, with the OKLCH. Yeah, it added all of the variables that I created. Let's now see the test which failed the last time, if it's now working, which is if I go to my theme styles and I go under elements and I check under container, did it add the styles? Yes, it did. So this time it works. It added the 0 padding, the 0 margin up and top and bottom, left and right auto, and the padding that I added. So it literally understood that now. So I think everything has been fixed with build areas, with bricks and Novamira. Okay, so what else? So it added it even knew that, okay, those are accessibility related classes, which are for the .skip link and the .sr only. They are accessibility related, so you put them in the class of accessibility, the layouts, .wrapper and .flow, and then the components .button. So it found all of that. Okay, so that's a good start. One thing I can say is, okay, it added the colors as regular variables. I can come back to my where can I find it? Okay, here, right? Yeah. I can come back here. This is for bricks, and I can say, oh, can you move the, what's my system freezing? Move the color variables into the color manager. Let's see if that works. Because I specifically said it should go to the variables and the classes, which is why it did that. If I had given it a more generic prompt, it probably would have known to put the colors in the color manager rather than in the variables manager. But yeah. And yeah, like Eddie said, it takes a long time. I think the task is not too heavy to do. Yeah, I think because of the, yeah, because it's database driven. So basically it had to go into bricks. First of all, check all of the categories that I already had created, which I didn't create anyone. Then know, okay, which categories are best suited for these variables. So then if it's not there, it now creates the new one. And so I think that's why it took this long of a time to achieve. But let's see how fast it will take for changing the colors into the color related manager, because I want it to move into I want the brand colors to move from here, which is under the regular variables, into the color manager so that we can access it using the color drop down. Okay, let's see how it goes. There should be a way to like put both of them side by side, right? Maybe that might be a better way so that people can see exactly what's going on the WordPress side of things and the Bricks side of things. But yeah, let's just stick to this for now. Okay, so while Bricks is still doing this task, let's switch over to Elementor and see if that one finished. So I'll switch to Elementor. Oh, I should have just said it should allow all activities. I forgot to accept the risks. Okay, let's allow for now. Yes, allow. The next thing I will just probably do is like create this whole folder as a container, a dev container, so that I don't have to be always constantly saying allow. I can just say do things dangerously, because but if it's in a container, by container I mean all of this Docker container, then everything will be localized into that container. It will not break outside of my container to destroy my entire site or my entire computer. But for now, I have to be reading all of the prompts to make sure that it's not doing something too much. So maybe in a future video, I will show, I think Lightbox, Jeffrey already talked about using your Claude Code in a container for more security. But yeah, okay, so it says it's done already. It has removed all of the themes and left the hello theme and the hello child theme, because those are the ones that were active. Let's see how fast it will do with the design system, because it's basically a similar thing. I should have been timing it probably, but let's see how fast it will do with the design system. I'll copy and paste it, and let's go. So it will run. Let's look at the other one. The other one has already completed. But yeah, the Elementor one is going. While that is going, let's just preview the front end and refresh the Bricks version. So now the colors have been moved correctly into the colors system. So we have the colors. We can basically access the colors from our site. So if I go ahead and exit, escape, and I add in a new section, within the section I add maybe a heading element, you now see that I can go to my styles and access all of those variables and colors and classes. So the classes exist. All of the classes are there. They're just simple classes. You could just get from like Core Framework or somewhere and then import those classes. For now, I just imported a few classes. And the colors, if I go over to typography and color, you can see I can access, where is it? The color picker. No, not the color picker, sorry. The color palette. And all of my colors are there. They're all there. Or if it's a variable, I can go to variables and access the variables that are there. So all of them work. And yeah, my default padding that I added to my container exists, or the default width exists and everything. So it works. For Bricks, let's switch over to our Claude Code and see what it did for Elementor. Oh, okay, still asking me questions. Yes. Let's see how fast it is with Elementor. Okay, so just as a side note, I'm using editor v4. I think it's activated on the site. So it should add all of these as Elementor editor v4 like classes and variables. If we go under Elementor editor and settings, and we go over to atomic editor, you see that it is active. It's asking me to deactivate. So we'll see if Novamira is able to add all of those global classes and the global variables into Elementor, and we're able to access it from Elementor. Okay, so let's see what is this saying is doing. We can also just look at this thinking, so you see exactly how the whole AI is thinking. So it helps to see how AI is actually thinking. So you can see now it says, okay, I have all the information I need. Both variables and global classes are currently empty in Elementor. So for the Elementor creates variable, it has to use the label with no spaces and the maximum of 50 characters. This is something that Elementor have set up. So it has understood that that's what Elementor requires. And the type, if it's going to be a color variable, we use color. If it's going to be a font variable, we use font. A size variable, use size. And then for the value, hex for color, because that's what Elementor prefers, hex values. It doesn't use all those OKL, CH for now. So it knows you can see all of the thinking steps it's doing. Okay, it has all the information it needs. The color variables require hex format. The size variables accept the CSS expression like clamp. The global classes, the style schema is extensive. I need to use valid property names. And yeah, so we now realize that my CSS variable uses color mix, but Elementor doesn't accept color mix for colors. So I think that's why it's going to now have to convert everything. So you see, it's saying that it's going to convert OKLCH into the relevant format that Elementor needs. And that's why it's asking me for this Python script to basically convert all of the ones that I've already created before, the OKLCH, the color mix, all of this modern CSS that Elementor doesn't support yet. It has to now convert everything. So this is a good way to, so rather than just sitting down there and not knowing exactly what AI is doing, you can read what AI is doing, then figure out if there are any errors before the AI implements those things. You can figure it out, oh, there's an error here, tell it to fix it, which is why I prefer to use the Claude Code in VS Code. It allows me to see things visually quickly, or to use the Claude desktop. It also does similar things. But yeah, you can see it says, okay, it's also changing the transparent color. These are so many details it has to go through because we are using a page builder. If we're using the Firebase system, all of this will have just been done in like the first 5 minutes. All of this will have finished. But because we're using a page builder that has so many restrictions, it has to go through those restrictions, come up with alternative plans, and fix those plans. So you see, it's now having to convert all of those plans into things that are worthy of Elementor. Hey, Jimmy, thank you for joining in. Hope you're doing all right. We're just exploring AI as usual. We're talking about AI in both Bricks and Elementor. For the Bricks side of things, I'm using Bricks and I'm using MetaBox. For the Elementor side of things, I'm using Elementor and Jet Engine. And we're just going through a set of tasks. First task was simple, just delete unused themes on the site. Then the second task was, okay, let's import our global colors and global variables into our site. But because all of these page builders have some restrictions in the way they add colors and classes, the AI has to first of all use the adapter or the MCP to know, or the skills and the abilities to know, okay, this is what is required, then convert my local CSS into what is required by these page builders, which is why it's taking all of its time. Then what else? Then the next thing we'll do is try to now attack the custom fields plugin and see how well the AI does with MetaBox itself and Jet Engine itself. Let's see how well it works. But yeah. Okay, so it has to now convert even my block start and inline and all of those things. It has to convert them back to either convert them back to width and height and top padding, bottom padding, because that's what Elementor accepts, or it will use them as the global, as custom units, basically. So it's now determining which one is best for Elementor. And that's all because I'm trying to use modern CSS for Elementor, which tries to have backward compatibility. So Elementor doesn't tend to adopt modern CSS quickly. It tries to adopt them slowly because it feels you need to be able to support a wide range of users. Okay. So now it has gotten all of the colors, color primary, color focus ring, radius, and everything. Now is should be done soon, I believe, because these are now more focused on the classes than the variables. So it has finished with the variables. It's now working on the classes. Okay, actually resolved through the error. So it has to use custom again. And some of these my classes is going to drop them because it cannot find a suitable replacement for all of these things like complex selectors. Those kind of things are not supported by Elementor, so it has to drop those CSS because they won't work in Elementor. Then what else? Yeah, that's how it just keeps going. And that's for the Elementor side of things. Let's just switch back to the Bricks side of things and even see what next we do in Bricks. And the next thing for the Bricks side of things is the custom fields using Metabox. Let's see how well it will do with Metabox. So for the Metabox, oh, okay, sorry, I zoomed the wrong thing. Let's get it back to normal. Control O. Okay. So for Metabox, basically, what I'm going to ask it to do is, okay, using the Metabox, create 2 custom post types, one for speakers and one for sessions, because I'm trying to create a conference. I'm saying that we have the speakers and the sessions that they are attached to. It is an accessibility conference, giving it some context. The speaker needs their bio, their organization, their role, the website, Blue Sky handle. How many of us are actually on Blue Sky? Let's just know in the comments. Do you use Blue Sky? Because I initially installed all of these, or at least I have accounts for all of these social media platforms, from TikTok to Elementor to, sorry, I'm mixing things up, from TikTok to Blue Sky to Facebook, X, and all of them. I have accounts there, but I probably only use like 2 social media platforms right now. I only use like Facebook and X. The rest of them, I go there once in a while. Even my Instagram, I barely go on Instagram. It's only Facebook to get to the groups and X to see all of the latest drama that is going on in the WordPress environment. So those are the 2 social media platforms I use, although there are so many of them. But yeah, that's beside the point. Let's see. So I'm going to keep asking it, okay, the session needs a date and time, it needs duration, it needs to talk about the room. Is it going to be the main hall, a workshop room? It's going to be lightning talks, like when you're going for WCEU. I know Jimmy talked about WCEU in one of his videos. I hope all of you are going. If you can, you should go. And some of all these other things. So let's see how fast it will accept this in Bricks. So I'll copy all of that, and then I'll just paste it in. Or let's just start a new section, just so that it doesn't start having too much context that it doesn't need. Okay, so using Metabox, create XYZ. Let's see how it goes. This is in the Bricks site. And now let's switch to the Elementor version and see if that is done. Yep, it's done. Elementor is finally done. Hello, Aliki. Sorry, I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Thank you for joining in. Let's see. We are switching between Elementor and Bricks, so I hope I'm not getting people lost. With the Elementor VS Code, the preview is dark, whereas for the Bricks VS Code, the preview is light. So that's the way I'm using to verify both of them. And we're just trying to switch between all of them and see how well we can the AI is doing both of them. Okay, hi Shanto, thank you for joining in. Okay, Catalyst Web, yeah, thank you for joining in. I forgot about. I was supposed to do something about Elementor with the dynamic content for Elementor, but then I realized that I can't remember what happened. I didn't install ACF. I installed Metabox or Jet Engine instead, so I can't really do the test I wanted to do initially. But we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Wait. Let's go this and go back to our page builder. This is Elementor. Let's now go ahead and edit a page with Elementor and see if our global classes and our global variables were added successfully. Edit with Elementor. This is a new site. Add a new. No, I don't want Flexbox. I want to add a new div block and a new Flexbox inside. For the Flexbox, I want to give it a class, and my class is there, sure enough, wrapper. And yep, everything is added. If I go to the classes manager, yeah, save and continue. Got it. You can see the classes that I added, just some basic classes, they're not much. Then for the variables, let's go ahead and add maybe a heading. And the same thing, I'll just give it a color. So go under, where is it now? Typography. And under colors, let's see if the variables are there. No, these are dynamic data, sorry. I'm mixing things up. This is variables. And we get our color variables. So we have the primary, the secondary, the tertiary, and so on. So I have my color primary. The primary color goes in and it works. So the colors work. It had to convert the colors to, let's go to the variable manager. It had to convert all of the colors to hex values because Elementor prefers hex for now. I think you can also switch it to HSL. I think that's the maximum they can do. They don't want to support OKLCH yet because I think that one it would need a bit of revamping of the entire UI thing. So for now, they are supporting hex, which is like universally supported. So hex has been there since the beginning. Almost every browser accepts hex value. So we are good on that front. Okay, so yeah, let's just go away. And we know that the first two things have worked. First, it deleted all of our unused themes correctly. If you go to the themes, under appearance and themes, you see now we have only the hello theme and hello theme and the hello child theme. So that worked. In terms of adding our variables and our classes, they were added correctly without errors, albeit they had to do some conversion from how I work to how the page builder likes to work. Yeah, exactly, Eddie. Yeah, the V4 works well with Claude Code. It doesn't make mistakes with that anymore, or at least it never. It doesn't make any more. I think there was just one tweak that they had to do, but every other thing works perfectly. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the first few tasks. This is the Elementor site. Let's switch over to the Bricks terminal and see if that has finished. Okay. So for the Bricks side of things, let's see what it did. It said it has everything now is in place, and here's what was built. First, it created a speaker CPT with the slug/speakers. Then it created a sessions CPT with the slug/sessions. Then it added a relationship between the speakers and the sessions. That means it understands Metabox way of building. And it updated from, okay, so it also allowed us to be able to edit our Bricks sites with our speakers and our sessions with Bricks directly if you want to do that. Or if you want to create a custom post or a custom template, you can also go ahead and do that. But yeah, it figured out that we might want to edit those CPTs manually, and it give us the option. So if we go to breaks, let's close these and go to breaks. I should have installed Command UI, because now everything's supposed to just be quick. But yeah, in breaks, if I go under so we have our sessions. It also even added the icon that best suits sessions, which is like the calendar icon. And then it added speakers. Okay, so let's see sessions. If you add a new session, it gives you everything you might want. So like date and time, is using the date and time field. Duration in minutes. Okay, for that, because it's in minutes, you should add it yourself as a text field. The room, it was able to, okay, only added one lightning talk. Okay, session panel, only one. I have to go and check why. It should have created more than one for us. Otherwise, it's not enough. I'll go ahead and check with MetaBox and see why it only added one drop down for each. But yeah, accessibility features, plain English summary, yes. Description, text area field. The video URL should be a URL field, if I'm not mistaken, and the slide URL should be a URL field. Let's go under MetaBox and see all that was created. So MetaBox, under post types. Okay, so yeah, the post types were created using MetaBox native functions, not using PHP like it used to do before. And we can go in there and see the session. So it added everything: the plural name, singular name, that is public. Everything is added correctly. Then let's see. Did it add any taxonomies? No, it didn't. I forgot to ask it to do some taxonomies. Custom fields. Yes, it did it with native MetaBox functions as well. So for the, why is it not zooming in? The session details, let's see. For session details, why is it not showing anything? Let's go back and leave and check out speaker details. No, what's happened? MetaBox, what's going on? Let me flush my permalinks. Settings, permalinks. Hey Giovanni, thank you for joining in. If anybody doesn't know, Giovanni is the main person behind all of these awesome dynamic related plugins like Novamira. We have dynamic shortcodes, dynamic content for Elementor, dynamic toolbox for Bricks, and so many other ones. So yeah, if you don't know him, you can check him out. And let me just save my permalinks. I don't know why the MetaBox fields did not work. Is it because I'm using the Pro version without the regular MetaBox? Because I know sometimes, I remember when I was speaking to what's his name, Wibowo, he said that sometimes if you have the base MetaBox plugin installed, it tends to act differently from when you have just the AIO plugin installed or something like that. I can't remember, but let's see. It's not showing up here for some reason. I'll have to check it and ask it why it didn't show up. Let's see. Let's go to VS Code. This is for MetaBox. I checked. Is this MetaBox? Yeah, this is for Bricks. Yeah. So yeah, I checked the custom fields in MetaBox and I didn't see any of the fields. Can you troubleshoot? Yeah. Let's see what it says. it says the fields exist, so yeah, it should show up. I don't know why it didn't show up, because it's showing up in the actual MetaBox plugin, and yeah. Okay, so yeah, once this finishes, then I will try to create the feedback report and see what it says. So while this is still working for MetaBox, let's see for Elementor and the other one. What have I done? I've broken my system screen. Okay, but yeah, let's see. Yeah, this one, that one. I keep mixing up my keyboard shortcuts because my brain is still used to Windows keyboard shortcuts. So sometimes I press the wrong shortcuts. Okay, so this is for Elementor. We've done the task 1 and 2 from Elementor, and they worked. So it's task 3, which is using Jet Engine, create 2 custom post types, speaker and session for an accessibility conference. The speaker needs a bio and all of that. And then create a many-to-many Jet Engine relation between them. Let's see if that works. This is for Jet Engine. Copy. And let's paste it. While that is running, let's see with this one is still trying to debug. Okay, found an issue. The MetaBox key, which MetaBox builder reads from, has corrupted options for 3 choice. Okay, they are only storing the last option with an empty key instead of the full value label map. That's likely saying broken. Okay, let me fix it. So yeah, I think it has to do with that element MetaBox Free and MetaBox Pro functions, I think. But we'll verify when we do the feedback report. Okay, why is my... Okay, yeah, everything is back to normal, I believe. Yep. Oh, wow, okay, the number of votes has even gone up, so I think most people are ACF users. It's now very evident that most people are ACF users, then followed by Jet Engine, and then MetaBox, at least among the 3 options. If I had put 8 CPT and pods and admin and site enhancements pro custom fields, probably would have had a different result. But at least among those 3, ACF, which is a no-brainer. ACF is like the most used custom fields plugin in the world. So yeah, let's see. Let it finish updating. What I found, the field data was stored correctly and both field groups are registered at runtime. However, okay, so now it has fixed. It says it has fixed it. So let's see if the first fix was done. Let's see. Let's go back to the browser and refresh. And I'll go to my speakers. No, it was sessions. Yeah, sessions. Add a new session. And yeah, now it has converted them. It's now showing the values as an array. So basically, we can choose multiple options. And what else? The session type, keynote, talk, workshop, panel, okay, works. The room, 1, 2, 3, they work. So let's go back to MetaBox and see if this time it shows MetaBox. Custom fields. No, it's still not showing. So, in the MetaBox UI, let's see. Go back to VS Code. I'll just still ask it again. I'll be like, the fields appear correctly in the MetaBox in the posts, but in the MetaBox UI for MetaBox AIO, do not show. Okay, let's see what that says. So while it's still running for bricks, let's switch over to Elementor and see. Oh wow. Okay, still building out the relationship now for the Elementor's fields. Yeah, it's now building out the relationship. It has built out the custom fields and the custom post types, but now it's now combining them with the jet engine relationship. Okay, so I think now almost everything is done. The CPTs are registered. I have everything needed. Let me create the relationship using the correct post speaker and post to session, the speaker and the session relationship. And I think it's done now. Yeah, done. Okay, so it's done for Elementor. So I'll switch back to my browser and look at Elementor. Yeah, try using the MCP browser to show it the fields. Okay, okay. Yeah, with Eddie, yeah, you can use Playwright or you can use Chrome. Yeah, Playwright is like the popular one. Okay, I'll try doing that. Let me first of all look at the Elementor version and see if all of the custom fields were added with. What did I just do? Let's see. Jet engine includes components, meta boxes, posts. Oh, there was some undefined array keys. Has it not finished? I just broke my. This is for bricks. Okay. Some undefined keys. Let's see. Paste. Let's go to VS Code and paste that in there. So while that one runs, we can continue. So while it's fixing that problem, we'll go back to the first one, which is MetaBox, and see what it says. But yeah, like we see what it comes up with, and I would say it is most likely due to that whole difference, that the function names are a little different depending on if you're using the free version or the pro version of. So if you're using the free version or the pro version with the MetaBox plugin installed, I think all three for MetaBox have different ways that they interact with MetaBox. Okay, so let's finish up with this debugging first, and then we'll now create a feedback report and see what it says. Okay, so it has fixed the issue. The speaker MetaBox only has plain text fields, no options arrays, so it wasn't affected. The label to value correction has been applied to all three option bearing fields in session room . Okay. Let's see what the feedback report will be. Let me first of all test out that it's working. MetaBox should be on this browser. Refresh, and yeah, the problem is fixed. Then let's see under jet engine post types. Yep, it created our two post types, which we can see on the screen: speakers and sessions. If I go into speakers, add a new speaker, we have all of our meta boxes. I know these are how jet engine fields look like, so definitely use jet engine to create these fields, because jet engine likes to use this grayed out background for their fields. And yeah, that works. But why was it using only? It only used standard fields. It didn't use drop down fields. I thought it would use some drop down fields, but yeah, it attached the child sessions as well. So we can say add a new session and add a new one, but there's no session actually, so it is blank. So that works. So if I go into Jet Engine, post types, and open my post types, the post type name works, the slug works, and if I go into meta boxes, we have our 2 meta boxes for the speaker fields. That works as well. It has all of the fields in there. Okay, it's only use text fields and the text area field. Let's look at the other one, the session fields. Okay, oh yeah, the session fields use more types of fields. It was only the speaker fields I only used one type. Okay, so I shouldn't have jumped the gun. So if I go in that sessions and add a new session, yeah, we have all the types of fields. We have the accessibility features, which are the checkboxes. We have the drop down, the select for session type. We have the date and time, which is a date field. The duration in minutes, which is a number field. What else? The slide URL, the video URL, and the slides URL. Okay, those are text fields because Jet Engine doesn't have any special type of fields for URLs. So yeah, I think this works. And then the relationship works as well. So all of that is working. So let's just go ahead and just create the feedback report for both of them so that the team can fix any bugs that may exist. I need to click on my tab key, yes, and switch back. This is for the this should be for Elementor. So let's say create a feedback report for Novamira for the problem. Let's see, that should create a report for us. Then for this other one, both fields meta keys are now in the correct React app format. Okay, what was wrong and how now, and what's now fixed? The fields meta key is what Metabox Builder's React UI reads when you open a field group editor. But let's first see if it actually works before we read its fix. Let's go to our browser and go back to Breaks Metabox, refresh. Yeah, and it works. So it's something to do with the React UI. It wasn't reading the values correctly. So let's go back to VS Code and create a feedback report for it. But yeah, it works now. Yeah, for the issue. Okay, let's see what it creates. All right, so this is the report it has created. We can copy this and send it off. What I asked the agent to do, it said I asked it to create meta boxes, Jet Engine meta boxes with select and checkbox fields that have defined option lists for 2 custom post types on a WordPress site. It formats the report like it's a bug report like we do on GitHub. So it's a nice way to tell them exactly what was the problem and what is the fix. I think, do I have it saved somewhere? Let me open I can just tell it to save it locally. Okay, save the JSON locally, the MD file locally to the project. Let's save that. All right, so it's saved. Okay, and that's the file there. It should write it completely. Save to Novamira. Okay, what I asked, and that's it. So this is the file. I can send it off for them to check it out later. Then what else? For the other one, which is for the Bricks version with Metabox, it has also created the report, so I can also save that to save to the local direct project. It will also save this report so that I can send it off after the live stream, and then everything will be fixed as soon as possible. So yeah, that's it done for the task 3, which is to build the data conference model. Because to be fair, ACF is the most widely supported one, so that one has the best documentation and the best everything. So with that one, it's easy to do. But with the other MetaFuels plugin, because they were trying not to be like ACF, they tend to create their own functions differently. So you have to, like even with ACPT as well, the functions they are well documented, but they are different. You have so many different functions for when you're using the free version, when you're using the pro version. Because I remember with ACPT, you have one function that's called get ACPT fields or something, which only works in the pro version, but not in the free version, and all of that. Yeah. But yeah, I have the 2 files, which I will send over as soon as I can. But let's move on to the next task, which is to generate sample data. Because now we've created our custom fields plugin, custom fields and custom post types, but they have no data. This is one of the things that works well with all of these AI, that they can help you to create sample data that are usable. And then you can just do some quick tweaks and things like that, and then they just work. So this is for the first one. I'll go ahead and just start a new session just to be safe, because I've been typing too many things already. And yeah, using Novamira. Okay, create all of that. So the task is, I'm asking it to create 5 speakers and 8 sessions across 2 days using realistic British names, because I'm in the UK, and plausible accessibility focused talk titles. You can also use this as a tip for planning to speak in the WP Accessibility Day conference. You can use AI to give you some title ideas, which you now refine and use your own words and not rely completely on AI. But yeah, it will link to the speaker sessions using the MetaBlocks relationship, and at least 2 sessions should have co-presenters, so not just one presenter, just so that we can see that the many-to-many relationship works and everything. So it's going to go ahead and do all of that for the bricks side of things. Then let's go over to the Elementor side of things and do the same thing, basically. So I'll come here, I'll start a new session, and in this session, do the next task, which this task, right? Yeah, delete unused. Okay, yeah. Close this, close that. And the task 4 is to generate sample data. For this time, we're using Jet Engine, so let's just copy that and see if it works. Okay. So it will be discovering all of the different tasks and everything. So yeah, this is one nice thing about AI. You can do multiple things at the same time, sort of. You should ideally be doing one thing at a time, so that it doesn't, or at least create some sub agents that do the parallel tasks. But yeah, we can live on the edge as well. Okay, so this question is for Giovanni. He says, from Eddie, that will Novamira still be necessary when WordPress version 7.0 is released? I know this is a provocative question, and yeah, for now, I think the way WordPress 7 is implementing AI, all they are doing is they are giving you a unified area to put in your API key, which in this case, we're using Claude Code, which I'm using my subscription. So I don't really need to use an API key for that. But with that version 7.0, they're just going to give you a nice area to put in your API keys for whether it's Claude Code or whatever one you're using API keys for. You put in your keys there for your AI agents. Then they will do some simple things like giving you surfacing some AI agents in the builder to maybe add image alt text, to do some things, but just basically builder related things. They're not really going to do so much. The AI is not really going to be like this, where you have your Claude Code separately, and then it has abilities and skills. All of that, all they're just going to do is give a common area for you to put in your API keys, and then plugins can now plug into that API key and surface some AI things that they want to do with it. Which, to be fair, that will be taking up a lot of your tokens, because how do they regulate which plugins are going to be using the API keys? It could be that all of the plugins now just start connecting to the AI API key and then using all of your tokens, I think. But yeah. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, that the WordPress 7 will let plugins to talk to the AI from inside of WordPress. Whereas with Novamira, we're saying, okay, here is your Claude Code or your anti-gravity or whatever you have. We want to use that our external tool to connect to the AI to be able to do more things, basically, because since it's an external thing, you have like more freedom to do a lot more. And your API keys will not just get used by all the plugins on in your installation. Okay. So I think the task is done. It has created day 1 and day 2. So let's go ahead and ensure that it works. So this is for breaks. Let's switch over to our browser. And this is breaks. Let's close that. And okay, let me just open it again. Go over to my sessions, and it has populated sessions for us. If I go under the sessions, you can see the session names are something useful, not like lorem ipsum or website ipsum or all of those kind of ipsum things. These are more useful things that we can relate to. So you see ARIA, when to use it and when to refuse it. It's a nice title. Closing panel, what does truly accessible tech look like? Writing for everyone, plain language and accessible content. Cognitive load on the web, from research to reality. So let's go ahead and even open one of them and see the data. So it gives us the date and time, which is going to be in June in 2026. The time is about 30 minutes. It's going to be part of the Lightning Talk room. It's a talk, and there will be captions, but no British Sign Language or audio description. Then it also has a description for what is it. Then, oh, this is a Nigerian name, Okonkwo, and this is, is this Polish, or which name is this? Anya Kowalski, or German. Okay, but yeah, it has everything there. I think, does it have did I add it? Okay, I didn't say you should add a featured image. Oh, I missed that. It should have. Okay, no, for sessions, I think I only said you should add speaker featured images, if I remember correctly. Did it add any? Okay, for the speakers, it's just their names, because I didn't say you should do anything for the speakers, only the sessions. Did I say? I thought I said you should do featured images. No, I didn't. Okay, but yeah, it gives you our speakers. They are connected. The relationship works. You can see the 2 sessions that the speakers are related to. You can check out the number of speakers. The speakers that we said, 6 speakers, and I think 8 sessions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sessions. Yeah, so they are correct, and everything just works. So let's see with the next one, which is for Elementor and Jet Engine. Let's see if that works as well. yeah, so it has created everything for Elementor and Jet Engine as well. So let's go ahead and check it out. So this is Elementor. And let's go to our speakers. We have our speakers, Dr. Aisha Patel, Marcus Thompson, and the rest. We have sessions, designing for everyone, the future of digital accessibility, ARIA Live regions in practice, what screen readers actually announce. So these are useful names. So the AI knows about useful names, which is why people use it for SEO purposes as well, to like brainstorm ideas of topics which they will now flush out themselves. So the idea is that you can use AI to come up with some brainstorming ideas, but you should still rely on yourself to create your content. Don't just rely on AI for everything. Okay? So it added the date and time, it added the duration, the room, the session type. For this one, doesn't have any accessibility features, and so on. So yeah, it even added the speakers. They were all connected correctly, so everything works. So that's it. What other thing did we ask? I think the last thing we asked, the last task I said it should do is to now build out the speaker grid. But before that, it didn't add speaker photos. So that is something that I need to say, organize the media library. So I need to say, why didn't you add, there were no speaker photos. There were no speaker photos added. Can you add some from Pexels and organize into happy files folders? Let's do the same thing for the other one. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, Giovanni gives a bit more context into how the WP's version 7 will run with AI. So basically, plugin developers can now plug into that your API key and use it to run some AI tasks within your WordPress site. But the fear is, how do you regulate what those plugins do? That's my fear, at least. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what is going on with the other one. Let me see. It's going to ask me for the next session. I'm going to try to just put everything in containers so that I can stop asking me to verify things. It's just do it by itself without fear. For now, it's still asking before edits because I'm afraid to go and edit something on my local computer. Okay. Okay, so it's using web fetch. Basically, it's downloading the images now using web fetch. Same thing with the other one. Is using web fetch to download the images. So we'll now see if it works, and then the last thing we tell it to do is, what was the last task? To build out a speaker grid in both Elementor and Breaks and see if that works. And that will be the tasks we have for today. And if anybody has any questions, just let us know in the comments and we'll answer those questions. But yeah, AI is really powerful and really cool in the way it handles so many complex tasks. And sometimes when it sees the task is a lot, it will now create sub-agents. I've seen it sometimes. It creates some sub-agents, and those sub-agents will do some tasks. Because I remember I had a site with about, I think it was like 100 images, and when I thought about adding alt text to all of the images, I thought to myself, it might be easier to just tell the AI run through all of the pages, look at the images that were done on the pages, and add all text that fits the context of that image. And he went ahead and he did that. He went to each page on the site, checked the images that were added to those pages, and tried to figure out what all text he should add to those images, and he added them. Then later I went ahead and I started editing myself, because face it, it's better. Sometimes it's better to have the AI to even do something than to have nothing at all on your site, where you have zero alt text on all of your images, and basically users have no way to read those images if they are using screen readers. So yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Jimmy, for joining in today. Yeah, we'll soon be going off. I just have this last task, and that'll be it. Okay, so it has added some alt text and the source of the image. So let's see if everything worked. Let's see the other one. So both of them have been added. Yeah. So let's go ahead and check it in the builder. I'll go to speakers, refresh, and let me see if I can even just go to enhancements. Where is it? Don't I have that plugin here? Yeah, enhancements. Admin columns manager. Okay. Let's go back to speakers and just add a featured image tag, so that I can just see the featured image directly for all of them. Let's see. So for the speakers, we can see all of the speakers. We have featured images for them now pulled in. Go to the other one. I'll do the same thing. Go to tools, enhancements. This is using admin and site enhancements pro. If I go to admin interface and activate columns manager, save, then I can go to my speakers, manage columns, and show that column. Or I can use AI to tell me to display the featured image as well, but I already have a plugin that can do that. So let's just do it. Okay, so that's done. If I go back to my speakers, you see that all of the featured images were populated. And if I go to those images in the media library, they were all populated under speakers. So it created 3 folders for me automatically from Claude. It knew that Happy Files, it knew how Happy Files creates folders, and it created them for me. So it created the icons folder, the logos folder, which I said in the brief, and the speakers folder. And then it basically added the speakers into the speakers folder correctly. And yeah, that's it. So as long as you give clear instructions to AI will work well. But sometimes when you give vague instructions, the AI will now try to guess your intention, and sometimes it might go astray, basically. Yeah. But yeah, this is all. Okay, thank you so much, Eddie, for joining in today. And yeah, we'll be out in like about 5 minutes. So just going to say, this is basically it. This is how AI works. It can work with all of these fields. It creates all of the fields. So sometimes you don't really have to use it for most tasks. You can use it for some simple administrative tasks or debugging tasks, like, oh, something is wrong on my site. Like, for example, I just showed it the error message I saw in my WordPress debug, put it into the AI. The AI was able to go through the site and figure out what the error was and fix the error. So that is some of the tasks you can use with AI. You don't necessarily have to always be building out your site, the front end, but you can also be building out things in the back end as well, which is nice. So let's see with the last one now. Let's just go ahead and build out the loop grid in the boot builders, and that should be the last task for today. So I'll go to the home of bricks. I'll go back to my VS Code, and the last task is that we want to create. Oh, no, this is for Elementor. The last task is that we want to create a bricks section. I will edit it a bit. So, okay, create a bricks section in the home page. that displays a query loop of all published speakers. Okay. Each card shows the photo, the name, the role, the organization, and links to the speaker's single page. Yeah. Use global classes. I don't need to say, yeah. Classes where necessary. Okay. All right, so we have our task all set up. Let's go ahead and start it out. So this is the first one. I'll go to the other builder and do the same thing. Basically, just creating a loop grid in Elementor. So create an Elementor. Okay, home page that displays a query loop of all published. Okay, so let's see if that works. So that's it for bricks and Elementor. Let's now go ahead and see what it's going to do and if it works. And that will be the last task for today. Okay. So yeah, these are the things that I typically do with my AI. So not necessarily building out my templates. You can also do that. You use like Playwright, the MCP. You feed it a URL to the site or the design that you have, or you use your Figma MCP or something, feed it the design, and then ask Novamira to connect to your brick site or your Elementor site and build out the template. That is the main thing people use it for. But for me, I tend to use AI more for like admin work. Like, okay, delete all unused plugins on this site, or create a function that, because I recently there was a multi-site I had, and I was trying to do redirects. I was doing the regular redirects, but they were not working. I also tried to use a plugin, rank math, but they were not working because it was a multi-site, and the function for the triggering the multi-site was happening before my function of my code snippet that I did was happening. So I just fed it to Novamira, to the AI, and then it was able to create a must-use plugin basically, and do the same function that I already had, but just in a must-use plugin, and that was done working at the right time basically. So that's one of the kind of things that you use AI for. Some basic tasks. Then I told it, okay, I want to be able to show the clients on the front end, or like on the admin dashboard, which sites were redirected and where are they redirecting to, and some description. It created a function, and I can just put in my input of the URL, the base URL, and where it is pointing to, and it's just formatted it in a nice table for me, for them on the dashboard. So they have an options page, all created using AI. I didn't have to create it myself. Just told the AI to do it for me, and it did it. I just did some tweaks here and there, and it was good to go. See, so those are the kind of things you do with AI, not necessarily always having to build out your web page. That is also nice. That is great. That is able to build out your site, because sometimes it's some designs I've seen. I don't know if I have it saved somewhere here, but there was a design I saw on front end mentor, one design about a form, and I just told Novamira, hey, here is the image of the desktop and the mobile version. Can you create it? It was just an image. It literally created the form that was working. So it was a mortgage calculator form, basically. I think it was, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like so it was a mortgage. I created a mortgage calculator form, and it worked well. Like it's. I was surprised. It got this HTML, the CSS, and JavaScript. Literally just looking at the image, it was able to determine that it was a form that was calculating mortgage. It added the two radio fields for me the same way it was in the image. And let me see if I can pull up the actual design that I got it from. Let me switch to my browser. I think it was front end. I don't think I'm logged in on this site, but let's see, front end mentor. I think. Where do I explore, right? No, I just need to see the challenge. Yeah, the challenges. And I think it was something about a calculator. I think it was this one. Literally, all I did was take this image, feed it into the AI, this image and the other image, fed them into Claude Code, and that was it. It knew that how the CSS should work. It knew everything. It created everything, the radio buttons, everything. It tried to do it with Bricks, but then it met some limitation, which I will try with Bricks Forge, because Bricks Forge has a bit more options, because it found some limitations that the Bricks form doesn't allow some fields and some things, some styling, so it had to do it using regular elements like section and all of that. But yeah, it worked and it was just nice. So those are some nice things that you can do with AI. So not like maybe build your entire site, but sometimes you have some sections that you are thinking about, and you're like, oh, how do I build this section? Or you have some utility tools that you want to build. You can also do that, like some tasks. To do tasks, you can show to your customer something on their dashboard. You can always easily put that in, and it works. You don't have to stress yourself. Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. Let's see how far it has gone. Let's switch over to VS Code and see if it's complete. Okay, it's almost done. Isn't supported by create post. Using execute PHP to create the loop item template properly. Okay, so it's creating the template. What about the alt text is updated, but there's a warning: block elements don't support has loop query. The loop needs to be a container. Okay, let me fix that. Okay, so it's now building out the loop, and this is for Bricks. I think it will do Bricks faster than Elementor, because Bricks, it just needs to add everything directly on the page, whereas with Elementor it has to create a template first for the loop grid before it add that loop grid into the home page. So I think that will take longer, but we'll see how that works, and that will be it for today. So let's see. Hopefully the tasks work out well. Okay, allow playwright is going to try to open the page, and yep, that's the page. It's opening the page. It has already created a loop grid for us. I didn't tell it any design. Ideally, you'll have given it some design for it to work with, but I didn't give it any design, so it has already created a loop grid. The loop grid works, as you can see. There's the speakers. We have all of the speaker names. I think with Bricks, it adds the caption, so that's why it's showing the caption there. And let's see, allow. Let's see with the other one. With Elementor, it's still taking its time. Let's see the thinking process. Okay, at the moment, okay, it has now started. It has created the tasks. First, it discovered all of the dynamic tags that we need and the loop grid schema. Then it created the speaker card global class. It's now building out the loop grid. So it's building the loop grid template. Okay. Then that's it for Elementor. Let's see with the Bricks version. Let me, resize the desktop to check the console error, whatever error it saw. So it's working, but I think there's no proper CSS to allow it to do that display grid, which is why it's complaining, because he saw that there's only one image showing at a time. So he's going to go back and try to come up with better versions. Hopefully to now come up with a CSS that works with the loop grid. Okay. Let's see with the Elementor version. Still synthesizing. And what else is this? Where is this stock now? Okay. Okay, so it's getting everything. It's getting the template. It needs to get the template ID. It needs to get what else? The global class and all of that. And I don't know if I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I like to read all of this context of what the AI is doing. It gives me some kind of idea, like some kind of feeling that I know what to do as well. Because when you're reading it, it's now making sense. Okay, you're going through the journey with the AI of how it is thinking about the entire process. I don't know if it's just me. Okay, yeah, sorry, I forgot to do this. Okay, so it's now looking at, okay, line height is as a unitless number. Is applying all of the styles. Okay, the margins and everything. So everything is being applied the way it should. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think that's also, to be fair, that is also one of the things that the the Novamira team are also working with. I think that's their next. Let me not say too much, but I believe that that's the one of the next things they're going to add, and that is the ability to create to work. No, they already have the ability to work with block themes, but so people still prefer to use page builders because page builders are very popular. So we still like using page builders even in the era of AI. But you can use Novamira directly with Gutenberg if you want. It works well with Gutenberg already. And I think in one of the future updates, they will also add support for generate blocks, and with the what's it called, green light blocks, because then because those are popular blocks that people already use, so they will give some skills and abilities for those blocks as well. Hmm. 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 Yeah, so this is okay. So now it has gone through all of the process and it is all done. It has built everything for us. So let's go ahead and see the output. If I can pull up the page, I think I'm on the home page. Let's hope. Refresh. Okay. So this is the home page with it has pulled. I didn't tell it the kind of style I want for the grid, so it just pulled out the page, but it pulled all of the items correctly. So we have our loop grid with Elementor. Let's see if that works. So refresh. No, okay, no. Elementor is still working. Sorry. So only breaks are as completed. Ideally, you'd have some classes and some styles that you now put into the AI. So let's say you have like core framework with all of the nice classes that it already has. It can work with those classes, or if you give it a design that you want, it can go ahead and implement that design for you the way you want it. But yeah, this is for no Elementor is this not Elementor? Elementor should be done. So what page did you use? Let me see. What page did you okay. Let's see. Okay, so what's the URL of the page? Let me go ahead and check my Elementor. I think I went to the wrong page, so go under pages and see which one was built by Elementor. This is okay. It created this page for me, and it set that as the home page. Okay, yeah. Oh no, what happened? What's this? I got this fatal error. the issue is trying to render, okay, that have a print content method. The loop builder expects the template, okay. So you're going to fix it now. I don't know why it did whatever it did. Maybe I gave it some prompts. Let's see. But it will fix it. Okay. Rather than a loop item document. This means, okay, so that's why it has figured out the problem. Okay. It has fixed the problem, I think. So now let's go ahead and see. Refresh the page. And yeah, so meet our speakers. So it now has the name of the speaker. It has created a loop grid, but it didn't add the featured image, but it added every other thing. Their role, their... So yeah, it created a page for us, adding all of the dynamic data that we need. So like the loop grid with, let's go inside the loop grid with the title. Let me choose the right query source. Should be what's it called? It's going to be Sarah, I think. No, sorry, wrong post type. Should be speaker, apply. Sarah. Why is it not doing? What is it doing? Refresh. Okay, now it's working well. Okay, so I can publish that and go back. Something is wrong. Settings, validation, image. Oh, okay, something that had to do with the image. Let's see. I'm getting an image error. Image error when trying to save the page. Ah, okay. Bricks is still working. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I jumped the gun with bricks. That's why the CSS has not yet been applied, because it has now all images are showing correctly, the data cards. So now it's trying to do some other styling. All images showing correctly, yeah. It's now applying the grid. Okay, yeah. So now it's applying the grid. So I was too fast, I think. Okay, yeah. So sometimes you shouldn't jump the gun. Basically, you should wait for the AI to finish working, because I was too quick with the bricks version. It had finished with the loop itself, so now it's now applying some styles to the loop to make it into a grid. Okay, so now all are rendering correctly. 3 columns responsive grid with photos, name, role, organization, and links. Okay, so it's now going to save. And let me go ahead and test it while it's saving. Hopefully nothing has broken. Okay, for breaks, refresh. Yeah, it's now doing the grid. It has now made it into a proper grid with the speaker names and everything. So yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's one powerful thing about AI. Like if you prompt, if you give the AI enough information and everything, it will do your work well. Because like, let me show one site that no, okay, I shouldn't show that site yet. But let me show another site, I think. No. Was it this site? Yeah, something like this site. I Although I've not done any other extra thing. But this site, the entire site was built literally with Novamira and bricks. It got the portfolio, it gave some description, it gave some colors, it helped us to arrange the images in the gallery format. We just, I think, one prompt. So, and then I also used AI with some other page builders as well, and they work well. Just that with bricks and Elementor, it's good to give it some, use the pro version with the extra skills so that it doesn't burn all of your tokens before it even goes anywhere. But yeah, so at least with the bricks version, we know it worked perfectly. And finally, it has finished the task, I think. Yeah. Must go on the card container inside of the static grid wrapper, not on the grid itself. And okay. So it has given some feedback, which I will also share with the team. For the Elementor version, it's still going. Because like I said, Elementor takes a while because Elementor is slightly different. Whereas with bricks, everything is done in the page. You create your loop in the page, you create your post type, everything in the page and all of that. With Elementor, it creates the loop grid template somewhere else first. Then it has to now import that loop grid template into an Elementor loop element. Then it will now style that element, so it takes longer to do with Elementor than with bricks, but everything should work out well. Let me see. Okay. Oh yeah, and I forgot that the loop grid is better to work with version 3 elements than version 4 elements. That's something I forgot about. That right now, Elementor version 4 isn't officially supporting loop grids. I think that's where a lot of the problems are happening, because the version 4 and version 3, they work well together, but I think the loop grid is not yet supported. So it's what's causing the problem with Elementor. With the Elementor loop in general, it should work, but it may have some issues. Because yeah, you can see it switched back to, it works, but then there are some errors because it's not officially supporting yet to put the version 4 elements inside of the version 3 loop grid. So that's something I have to remember. Okay, so yeah, this is basically it. I think I'll just wait for the Elementor one to finish. At least we know that Elementor version is working to an extent, because version 4 is still, some people say it's out of beta, some people say it is still in beta, so it all depends on who you ask, and they will tell you different things about the V4 elements. Elementor officially says it's out of beta, but yet so many things are missing, like loop grid is not fully supported. Some of the elements still have some limitations and so sort of thing, but they said it is production ready and it's stable, so we have to take their word for it. But yeah, that is the main thing for today, and we've gone through and we've seen that the Novamira works well with like all of our tasks that we typically do, like delete plugins, delete themes. I didn't show, you can also upload plugins, upload themes if you wish. You can use some plugins that are not even listed in the things like Happy Files or any of your file management system. Novamira is smart enough to understand those file management systems and work with them. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, so and what else do we have? We have that the Novamira can pull in images from different sites. You can even tell Novamira about like your other sites. Like, oh, this is something I did personally. I built a site a long time ago using, I believe it was, I can't remember now. I built the site. It was having issues and I wanted to move the content, just the content from that site into another site. I know fully well I can use WP CLI to export the post content and all of that. But I just told the AI, hey, check out the subdirectory for my docs. So they're basically /docs from that site. Get all of the content there and help me create a post type for the post and populate with the content. And it did all just that. It went to that site. It tried to look at the sitemap for all of the site, the custom, the what's it called, the subdirectory called /docs. Looked at all of the sub pages there, downloaded all of the pages, figured out how the fields were all arranged. So the custom fields that it might need, the featured image and all of that. It created everything in the new site and populated all of the content there. I also told it, okay, now go ahead and add in all text, like I mentioned already. It went there, looked at the post content, it decided what kind of alt text might be useful, and it added those alt text, and the site was ready to go. Like without me having to think too much about, oh, do I need to use a plugin to import, like WP all imports plugin to import all of the posts? But that would mean I have to now start going to ask the owner of the site for their login because and other things. So many issues. I was able to just do everything for them and deliver the site to them in matter of days rather than having to do so much extra work. And yeah, that's the thing with AI. But thank you all so much for watching. Now that I've seen some tiny bugs, I will report them and they'll be fixed before the next version. And yeah, things will just always keep getting better and better and better. And that's it. So thank you so much, Giovanni. Thank you, Max. Thank you, the others who were here before, like Jimmy and Eddie and every other person who is here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Okay. Bye.